6,000 years ago, somewhere near the Black Sea, a woman was holding her newborn. Her mother was brown-eyed. Her father was brown-eyed. Every one of the 30 people in her village had brown eyes. Every traveler who had ever passed through her valley had brown eyes. Every ancestor she remembered, every face on every cave wall she'd ever seen had brown eyes. The human race had been brown-eyed for 200,000 years. But when this woman looked down at her baby, she saw two pieces of the sky in her child's face, a color no human had ever worn before. The first question is not science. The first question is this: what did the mother do? Picture her. An unnamed valley, late afternoon, sitting outside a hut. Her village is maybe 30 people. Writing hasn't been invented yet. There are no cities. There are no pharaohs. The wheel is about 1,000 years old. Humans have just learned to plant grain. But mythology is everywhere. The sky is a god. Animals carry spirits. Sickness is a warning. Every baby that is born, if it's normal, is a gift from the ancestors. If it's abnormal, it's a message. From the gods, from the dead, from a bad spirit. Somebody's going to have to say. The woman is looking down at her baby. The baby's eyes are the same color as the afternoon sky. She has no word for this. No story. None of the legends her grandmother told her ever mentioned a baby like this. She has 3 options. Possibility 1. Cursed. For ancient humans, strange was dangerous. European folklore carried a legend for centuries. The changeling. Fairies steal human babies and leave their own strange babies behind. A baby that looked wrong, cried wrong, stared wrong, could be a changeling. The cure? Put it on the fire. The real baby would come back. This legend wasn't invented in the Middle Ages. It is much older. It is one of the foundational patterns in human anthropology. A strange baby is not a real baby. The same pattern shows up everywhere. Mesopotamian tablets listed evil birth omens and prescribed the river. Across Africa and the Pacific, albino infants were killed at birth, and much later, in Europe's darkest 300 years, hundreds of thousands of women were burned as witches, sometimes on no evidence except different eyes. The evil eye belief is ancient and global. Turkish Nazar, Italian Malocchio, Indian Drishti, Latin American mal de ojo. Every culture believes one human's gaze can damage another, and which eye is suspect, usually the one that looks different. So when that mother looked down at her baby, her first feeling might have been fear. This little face could get her killed, and the mother too. Possibility 2. Sacred. But the other side of human psychology exists too. The same strangeness sometimes provokes the opposite reaction. What if the baby was chosen by the gods? In ancient Egyptian art, some divine figures were painted with eyes deliberately different in color. Horus's left eye was the moon, his right eye was the sun. To be a god was, almost by definition, to have eyes that were not ordinary. In early Mesopotamian temple statues, the eyes were often inlaid with a lapis lazuli, deep blue, semi-precious stone. When you carve the face of a god, you put 2 pieces of sky in it, because the gods live in the sky. In many Native American tribes, albino children were raised as shamans. Their vision was different. Therefore, the spirit world might be visible to them in ways it wasn't of others. In ancient India, a child born with a mark that resembled a god's feature was sometimes given to a temple, raised as a priest. So maybe that mother, looking down at her baby's sky eyes, did not feel fear. Maybe she dropped to her knees. Maybe she ran for the village elder. Maybe the elder bent over the child, looked into those eyes, and said, "The gods have spoken." Maybe that baby grew up to be the village's first priest. Maybe people came to her for blessings. This is the second pattern that runs through human anthropology. Possibility 3. Hidden. And then there is a third path, the one that leaves no record, the quietest one. The mother covers her baby and never tells anyone. This happens too. All through history, mothers have hidden babies who looked wrong, disabled, different, dangerous to claim. She just walks home. She invents a story. Her eyes are weak. She can't bear the light. The baby grows up under a wrap in a shadow in a corner. There is no record of these stories, because no record was kept. The history of hidden children is the history of silence. Wait, is this even real? Pause for a second. Where did that baby come from? Because for 200,000 years, the human face didn't change. Then one afternoon, suddenly, the sky walked into it. How? In 2008, in Copenhagen, a man who had spent 40 years chasing this exact question found the answer. His name was Hans Eiberg. He collected DNA from blue-eyed people across the world. Danes, Germans, Iranians, Turks, Lithuanians, Lebanese, people separated by oceans, by 100 generations of distance. Every single one of them carried the same single letter change, the same gene, the same exact spot. One base pair flipped, as if every printing of a book carried the same typo in the same comma on the same line. That's not coincidence. What it means is this. That single letter was flipped once, on one night, in one body, in one family. That body had a baby. That baby had babies. And 6,000 years later, 600 million people are carrying the trace of that one moment. In the language of science, a mutation. In the language of story, an accident. In the language of being human, a coincidence that changed someone's eyes between one night and the next. That mother's baby. It wasn't the will of the gods. It wasn't the work of demons. It was just one letter copied wrong among billions of cells, until finally one bad or a beautiful instant. But to that mother in that moment, it looked like a miracle, because she had no word for it. The truth. Now here's the strange thing. We know which of the three things happened, because there are 600 million blue-eyed people alive on Earth right now. Every single one of them, without exception, is the descendant of that one child, which means that child survived. Not only survived, grew up, found a partner, had children, and those children survived and found partners and had children. So the mother did not throw her baby in the river. The village did not burn her. Nobody's label of cursed was strong enough to kill her, and more than that, her children weren't killed either, and their children weren't. For 200 generations, every time a blue-eyed child was born, someone, a mother, a father, a village, chose not to kill them. That is not luck. That is an accumulated decision. Maybe the first mother saw her child as sacred. Maybe she hid her. Maybe the village made her a shaman. Maybe she was raised in secret and married out at 15. We don't know, but we know one thing. Nobody told her she was not allowed to live. Think about what that means. If even one generation in those 6,000 years had said no, if just one village in 200 had decided no, not this child, Blue Eyes would have disappeared forever. The trait would have died with the last person who carried it. The sky would have left the human face. They didn't say no. And that permission somehow got copied 600 million times, the human pattern. Humans live by a strange pattern. First we fear what is different, and then we sanctify it. Then we get used to it. Then we forget it was ever strange. The first blue-eyed baby was probably terrifying. The 100th was probably holy. The 1,000,000th was probably just unusual. Today, it's just a pretty eye color. You can see this pattern everywhere. Historically, the first left-handed children were called cursed. Later, Catholic priests held up saint of the left-hand paintings. Today, it's just a trait. The first very tall humans were called giants. Then they were called warriors. Now we call them basketball players. Fear, worship, acceptance, forgetting. It's the human algorithm for absorbing difference. If your eyes are blue, you are carrying the decision of one woman in a valley 6,000 years ago. That mother with a baby whose eyes looked like the sky could have let her go, could have stayed silent and let the village do what it would do. She didn't. She didn't do it for you. You weren't there. She just did it for her child. Maybe the only thing she saw was beautiful. Maybe love was bigger than fear. Maybe motherhood's oldest reflex. Whatever this is, I will protect it. And for the next 200 generations, somebody made the same choice every time. Now you're standing in front of a mirror. Your eyes are the color of the sky. On a riverbank near the Black Sea, 6,000 years ago, the decision of one woman whose name you'll never know is sitting in your face this morning. If your eyes are brown, you are carrying a different decision. Your face is the 200,000-year unchanged human face. The face of the cave painters, the face of the fire keepers, the face of the spear throwers, carried forward to you without a single edit. Neither version is more human than the other. Tonight, somewhere, a baby is being born, with something new, something never seen before. A trait, a sensitivity, a difference no human has carried until now. A mother is looking at it, right now, and she is deciding what it will mean. Cursed, sacred, hidden, or, eventually, just normal. 6,000 years from now, someone you will never meet will be the result of the choice she just made. When you look in the mirror tomorrow morning, you're carrying someone's 1-second decision. What comes in tomorrow morning?